Live from our totally exhausted studios in Atlanta, Georgia, you're listening to Techies Talking Tech Tonight.
Techity tech.
Better known as T4, which
All
for
tech all
copyright
the
reasons
time.
we can't actually name the show T4, but it's what we call it. I'm your host, Trey Comstock. It was Tuesday, April 8th. I have no idea what day it is anymore.
Tuesday.
It is still
It is
Tuesday,
still Tuesday.
April 8th,
It better
It says
be.
on my computer.
2014. I am joined by the normal crew for Techies Talking Tech Tonight. We have gaming editor Stephen Doss.
Loving on you all the time.
Oh, God. And
What does that even mean?
no one knows. That's why it's a worthless phrase. And executive editor Jimmy Principe.
Hello, Internet.
So
You're
this,
looking mighty fine this evening.
yeah, I know. This is the show where we just talk. We just
Trey,
talk
you're
about
adorable.
things. We swear about things. We talk mostly about tech.
Lots of fucking profanity.
Sometimes
And drinking some tasty bevs.
Yeah, yeah. That's what this show is.
Wait, I can say tonight on what are we drinking, right? Because this is the not
This
family
is-
friendly show.
This
Yeah.
is the not family friend. This is the one flagged as explicit in iTunes.
Okay, so tonight I am drinking Chainbreaker White IPA, and it is delicious.
Shane Breaker, friend of the show.
I am. My cup runneth dry. I was drinking water.
Trey, I would FedEx you one, but I don't think it'd get there fast enough.
Wouldn't get there fast enough, and I can't drink it on air anyways.
And-
I'm a Methodist pastor.
So you
Look
can
at
say
your life. Look at your choices.
you can say fuck nards, but you can't drink.
I actually noticed that I don't swear that much on this show.
That is true. You are a bit tame.
Yeah.
He lets us do all of the
I
swearing.
do.
That's true.
Y'all do the lay people do the swearing.
Exactly.
Fuck
We just
swear
fundamentally
on
like-
the show.
see
Just like church.
we go to church because we need to.
I go to church because I need to too.
But you also run a church, kind of,
also
sort of.
run a kind of. I do. I kind of run
Yeah.
a church, and like I swear some, but yeah.
So what you're saying is you would never say, "Hey Jimmy, have you ever had a dick slapped in your face?" You would never say that, would you?
On the air? No. But so Jimmy just explained a joyous event that had happened in his life, and
The dick slapping in his face?
that wasn't it. But
Okay.
well, I didn't look him square in the eye because we were on the phone. But I said, "Congratulations, but you're still an asshole."
Yeah, that was true. That did actually happen.
I sincerely meant the congratulations. I also sincerely meant that you're still an asshole.
Very
I said I
nice.
expect nothing less from you.
I'm kind of, in real life, I'm kind of like the guy that walks behind the emperor and reminds him that he's still mortal. That's me. That's my lot in life is, remember, you're still an asshole. I want to say that to someone right before I'm about to marry them. Remember, you're still an asshole.
Trey, one of these days. Never.
Yeah.
I have hams on my socks.
That's
Awesome segue.
That's awesome. So speaking of awesome segues, Stephen, what's new with you?
Elder Scrolls!
Thank you for totally peeking the mic. So tell me more about Elder Scrolls.
Well, as you know, I'm a bit of a Elder Scrolls geek.
We discussed this last.
No, this isn't about
This is
that.
new. This is
Shut
new.
the hell up, Jimmy.
Shut
You know
your
what,
vicious
Steven?
whore mouth.
What? I don't come to where you work and slap the sailors' dicks out of your mouth. Okay, Jimmy?
Wonderful. I would love to name this show that. Slapping Techies Talking Tech Night episode. This is 10. Slapping sailors' dicks.
Well,
Out of your mouth.
out of your mouth.
I could just name it out of your mouth, actually.
There you go. Just write that down. There you go.
Of your mouth.
Meowth. Okay. Anyway, so
That's all I have to say.
last week Elder Scrolls Online came out,
Yes, it did.
and it apparently is pretty awesome, according to people who have played it. I unfortunately have not, but I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people are thinking that this could be an MMO that actually stays around for longer than 6 months.
Well, I mean, look.
Because it's got the mythos behind it. It's got it's Elder Scrolls. They sell, 400 million games at a time?
I mean, Skyrim did something like 25 million.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge. I'll interrogate you as to why here in a second.
Okay.
But I can see that angle because they essentially did what World of Warcraft is.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind that World of Warcraft is built on a huge backlog of lore
Yeah.
from Warcraft 1,
games.
Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. which itself is kind of grounded in similar things to Diablo. So like Blizzard had been working in this kind of dark fantasy stuff for a while, and so they built an MMO on that, and it's been going for like 10 years now? 10 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Because I mean, it was my senior year when Drew really got into it. My brother really got into it, and that was 10. It was 10 years ago. It was my senior year in high school. I know, Steve.
Right? You're old.
No, I'm not the oldest one on
Steven.
this show.
That's true. 8 days, I turned the big 3-0.
Yeah, he's about to turn the big 3-0.
We can order the Maccabeats for your big 3-0 party.
No.
He doesn't like acapella, which is a shame.
We'll definitely order it.
I
for
like
you then.
rockapella. Do you guys remember Carmen Sandiego?
Yes.
Oh my
actually.
God, Carmen Sandiego. The real
Something
question
about
is where in the world is.
That's true. Carmen Sandiego, comma, where in the world is. You know where you know where Carmen Sandiego isn't? In Tamriel, the world of the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. So I mean, I can get why it's grounded in the lore. It's got a huge franchise behind it.
Yeah,
I have two questions.
Okay.
One, why do you think it is the next?
because you're an asshole.
Thanks. That too. Why do you think it's? What are you
This is
hearing that
true.
makes people think it's the next WoW?
I'm hearing the fact that it's gorgeous
Sure. So
for
it's
MMO standards.
For MMO, like it's finally an MMO that's not like, you know what's easy on your servers? Cartoony graphics.
Exactly. Big
Which
hands.
works really, like, which was awesome when WoW first came out, and WoW is working on updating its graphics. But even still, like, that's been the
It's
MMO genre.
cartoonish, yeah.
It's cartoonish
It's cartoonish and
or stylized.
yeah, stylized. It's cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
It's and the fact that it's fun to play.
Okay.
Because if you don't want to be in a big group, if you don't want to be like, because with Warcraft, there's certain things that you have to be in a group.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. Again, the grading mechanic and that anything of like the upper level content is all basic. Is all multiplayer.
Yeah, that's not the case with.
Oh, and it's huge multiplayer groups. It's not even like, oh, me and 3 friends. It's like
No, it's like you have to be like you need
Me and
at least,
every asshole on the internet.
you need at least 16 to 24 for this cave to defeat the troll at the end.
Hence Leroy Jenkins.
Exactly.
well, yes, exactly. Leroy Jenkins.
And then with this, it's like, here you go, poop. And everyone else around you is going poop, and it's just you're living in this world. Go crazy. If you want to go with a big group, go with it. That's fine. If you want to spend a day or two and just be by yourself, that's fine too. You're still living in this living world. I think that's a wonderful thing, and also the fact that it's not only PC based, it's console based.
That you know, you're never.
It's
gonna,
all, and it's you could play if you've got a Mac OS X.
Yep.
Play it on that. If you got Windows based PC, play it on that.
My Xbox One, you can play it on
Play
that.
PS4, play it on that.
Yeah.
Not PS3 or Xbox because
they don't have the network architecture.
They don't have the network
yeah,
architecture.
no, they're not built for it.
And so, you know, and I'm sure Azure Cloud will come up somehow.
I'm sure.
I honestly, I don't know the server architecture. Oh, fun fact about Azure Cloud.
Oh,
I told
God.
Jimmy about this the other day.
Oh God.
You want to know what runs on Azure Cloud that I find fascinating?
Oh, the who gives a fuck server.
No, actually, no, this is actually fascinating.
Okay, it's a,
iCloud.
Wait,
runs,
seriously?
iCloud runs on. Yeah, see, you're interested. iCloud runs on Azure. iCloud is because Apple doesn't have its own server architecture.
No.
Apple iCloud runs on Azure. Now
I may
it's
or may
on-
not have responded to this text message with, Trey, I find your fascination with server architecture hilarious.
Let's be clear. Server architecture wars is the new operating system wars.
Oh, yeah, it's way more interesing, but that
yeah.
doesn't change the
This
fact
is-
that it's
but
hilarious.
it's server wars.
And to me, it's Azure versus Amazon Web Services. AWS. Anyways, I that is actually interesting that Apple iCloud runs
What is
on
IBM
Azure.
doing these days? Aren't they doing something like this?
Jeopardy.
IBM's running like integrated
Why the hell
integrated cloud
not
solutions.
service?
I don't actually know. Is the short answer.
IBM's running the why the hell not bitches?
Yeah.
IBM's running the we make money doing doing
Magic.
something that no one
Actually.
understands.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's basically money by magic.
Yeah, IBM. Is like,
IBM
we've been
poops
in
out
this,
gold bars.
We've been in the stock market since like 1899 when we were making computation machines.
Well, you know what the biggest sector of Sony is, right?
Pornography.
Insurance. I'm not even joking. Also, Sony does make a lot of money off of porn in 2 ways.
Do tell.
Well, keep in mind, Sony gets a cut
Blu-ray?
of every Blu-ray sold.
That's true, yeah.
Sony gets a cut of every Blu-ray sold. You want to know what the HD format of choice was for what helped decide it? Porn.
That's what happened with
That's
VHS.
It's in beta, yeah.
Porn chose VHS.
And web streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Porn.
God.
So, I mean, yes, this is very
So
interesting.
we can also thank porn for Azure Cloud.
Exactly.
Look, Microsoft.
Clever architecture.
Microsoft has been
Azure
everyone's
Cloud is
conduit,
actually a
porn
porn star.
conduit of choice for everyone.
That's going to be Trey's porn
did-
name.
Never
Azure
mind.
Cloud.
You, my Azure Cloud.
No!
There we go. That's a usual show title. I'll show you my Azure Cloud. I'll show you. I'll remember that, right?
Yeah, I think you will.
Said Ballmer famously.
My Balmer's awful. I'll just whatever.
Just-
I'll show you my Azure Cloud.
Ballmer. Just Ballmer.
What the
Trey's Balmer.
hell?
It's my Balmer. I have a Balmer dance.
This is why you need. Okay, everyone needs to go watch the video because Trey's gonna Ballmer.
Okay, so here's
Can
how
they
you
see it on
Balmer.
your camera? I can see it on my camera.
So you can see it on my camera. So you shake your chest like this while making your arms.
Like you
go
have boobs,
like
which
this.
you do not.
I don't. So you kind of like twist your arms back and forth while shaking your chest, and then you kind of do like a wave motion with your arms. That's Balmering. Don't ask me why I came up with a Ballmer dance move, but I did because it expresses the I don't care nature of Steve Ballmer.
It
So
looks like a kid in a candy store whenever he gets on stage. You're always like, Ballmer, what the hell is going to come out of your mouth? Well, we called it Windows 8.
why'd you call it that? Because it comes after Windows 7. Damn it, Steve.
We called it Windows Phone 7.
And phone. So we call it
so-
Windows Phone 7, and so the devices for it are called Windows Phone 7 phones. Phone. I hate you, Steve Ballmer. Anyways, you were talking about Elder Scrolls Online.
Sorry,
I don't think
totally
we
call
have a
out
leg to
that.
stand on with Techie Tech.
So, okay. So
We can play it on your Windows phone. That's another good.
So I get that. So I get that it's
Stop
cross-platform in a
stroking
way
those
that MMOs usually aren't, and
Yeah.
certainly that WoW isn't.
Yeah.
And I get that the graphics are better, and that it has.
You also have a much, it's also the people who played Warcraft when it was cartoony 10 years ago. They've grown up.
Yeah, they have. And they want clean faces.
Yeah, they want to
But
play.
they still want lomography.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's my thing. Anyways,
I hate
continue.
people.
But
Keep
anyway, it's one of those. They're meeting the MMO base where they are.
Okay.
It's like, okay, it's been 10 years. Here you go. Here's a completely huge developed storyline. And at first, it's like, oh, we're going to. It was supposed to be free to play, and now they're doing a subscription.
Yeah,
because
that's part of what's dangerous.
that's part of what's dangerous. Is that you
every
gotta pay.
every other MMO basically has had to go to that free to play model that isn't WoW.
Yeah.
And WoW essentially just prints money.
Yeah, and the thing is, Elder Scrolls Online started out free to play for like a week, and they're like,
That's
subscription.
awful.
Because they have people.
Yeah, because they have people that are gonna pay.
I don't know.
Now they are doing their I think their first update, downloadable content, whatever you want to call it, is coming out in a few months, and it's gonna be free.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's how I think that's how they're gonna say like, well, you got to pay the $15, but
You get this additional content.
you don't have to go and pay $39.99 for a new.
But
game.
it is still $60 for the game.
Yeah.
But that includes 2 months, and so it's really $30 for the game.
yeah,
Okay.
and Azure Cloud.
And Azure Cloud. So I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One. So, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
Or whatever what's the online?
Star Wars. Knights of the Old-
Just Star Wars. The Old
The Old
No,
Republic.
you had it right. It's nice, the Old Republic.
Okay. So
I
they
think.
tried to strike that
Correct.
balance between single player and multiplayer, and they strayed too far to single player.
Right.
Do you think some of the coverage I have been following of Elder Scrolls Online says that it's also fallen into that trap of too much on the single player, and so why on earth is this even an MMO?
Yeah, I mean that is.
How do you
something-
respond to that?
How do I respond to that? Is I gotta play the game,
Sure, but I mean, based on
what I've seen and what
which are users and not journalists.
Yeah,
No, it was the Old Republic. It's not Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay, so just Star Wars: The Old
because
Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic was kick-ass.
It's kick-ass. It was a great.
I downloaded
it was
that
a
on my
great RPG.
Xbox 3 as a BioWare, right?
Yeah, but all of that's BioWare. The RPG, the MMORPG is also.
But yeah, okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that is something because the Elder Scrolls are great single player games.
Oh,
that's what they're
amazing
designed for, and
single
that's what Bethesda is really, really good at. Look at Fallout. Look at.
But this isn't Bethesda. This isn't. Let's keep in mind. This is not. This is ZeniMax.
This is we have Bethesda. The stuff. Yeah.
Who owns Bethesda? But like this is not actually. This is built on an MMO engine. This is not built on a Bethesda engine.
Right.
This is like a.
This is we're going to take the mythos from Bethesda and we're going to put that in this MMO stuff.
Right.
And I think the problem is that it's exploration, that world. It's geared towards single player because you're like, here you go. You have. I don't know how many square miles of.
But it's a pretty big world.
Yeah, it's the
multiple continents. I mean, I've watched probably 3 hours of gameplay on this thing. Total.
Yeah. And in addition, you've got the world on and you've also got Plains of Oblivion that you can go to and do all sorts of fun stuff.
Like your starting town is Daggerfall, and like they have the fan service stuff. But fundamentally, my other question is, does it feel like Elder Scrolls? Because that has a very specific, like Skyrim in particular, but Oblivion and Morrowind before it had very specific feel.
Right.
That this is an Elder Scrolls game.
You know what you're getting into. It's going to be harsh. It's going to be Game of Thrones light. You're going to get killed by either someone you know, someone you don't know, or a bear.
Right. And it's just this totally sprawling world. I mean, I know you can't just murder quest-giving NPCs, unlike in the normal game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does it maintain its nature?
One of the greatest things I've ever done is in Oblivion. When you kill the Emperor, it says the Emperor is dead. You cannot complete the main quest anymore. You need to reload a save game, or you can continue playing. And you know what I said? I said, "Fuck it, I'm continuing playing."
Right, but you can't that is to me, that's a core aspect of the Elder Scrolls franchise. Like, I'm not one with a huge affection for the franchise, but my understanding of it is that kind of, you can murder the NPCs.
You can do whatever you want.
And screw the world, and you can't do that in this MMO.
Right, because you can't
screw
do
the world for everybody.
For everyone.
Like, I get why. I'm not saying, like, they shouldn't have done it, but, like, is it still an
Elder
Elder
Scrolls game? And I
think
you have to temper that with an Elder Scrolls game has the mythos, has the exploration, has to be, I want to see what's just over that mountain because I know there is something there.
And I assume that's still
and
there.
I think it's not there in Warcraft where it's like, you're in the forest. You need to go to the forest. Right. Guess what you're going to go next to kill the fucking beetles? You're going to go to the fucking forest again. It's like I think the intro to Elder Scrolls is like you're escaping from prison or something.
Which is like every other Elder Scrolls game.
Like every other Elder Scrolls. It always starts with a prison, which, there you go. Done and done. There's your Elder Scrolls game. And then at the end, it's like, you can ask, well, what do I do? I don't care. You can do this, you can do this, you can go do this.
It sounds like there's a lot more. It's not just early fetch quest. Like, from what I've seen of the early stages of the game, there is a lot more variety in the early content, which is a big critique of WoW.
Yeah, WoW.
Not that anyone really sees the early content of WoW who's playing WoW anymore, but it is just kind of like...
Right, they all passed that like 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Or they're on their third character.
This is Glarblegsling. He's a...
Third character?
One character per expansion.
I played World of Warcraft for one summer before I started graduate school, and then as soon as graduate school started, I gave it away because...
So what was your character, Steven? I have to ask.
Tell me more about your character.
My character was because...
You were a busty elf, weren't you? Yeah, you were.
Jimmy, you're the one with the thing for lightly armored women. Do not pass this off on the rest of us.
That was the first show, wasn't it?
I still remember it because my friend Carla and Morgan got me in their guild because they played religiously. I don't think they play anymore. I think Carla may, but Morgan does not. Morgan's getting married and being a bride and all that crap. Nerd.
So you definitely need to kill things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was a night elf mage.
Okay.
Of course.
And I used with with extra, and I could temp over crabs and hit their bottom for maximum damage. No. Yeah, I was a Knight of Melch. That was about it. And then I joined a guild or whatever.
What was your character's name?
I don't even remember. Do you know what it was? It was, I hit random name, and then I said, okay.
You said, this is awesome.
So, Jimmy, what's new with you, tech-wise?
Tech-wise?
Mm-hmm.
So I've recently discovered this image sharing service.
Is it called Instagram?
Yes, it is called Instagram.
Trey was there for this.
Oh, no.
Jimmy came for the weekend last weekend, and he was Instagramming the whole time.
This is his couch Instagram.
So, Jimmy, talk to me about your sojourn in Instagram land.
ITS.
We all know my thoughts on Instagram. It ruins pictures.
ITS, Instagram that shit.
Okay, so I have two different opinions of Instagram. One of them is my own personal opinion of Instagram, and one of them is my opinion as more of like looking at Instagram as a thing. So I'll start with my own personal opinion of Instagram. The pictures are still just shit, and I see no purpose for it except for when you're taking pictures that your phone has no business taking in the first place. Like, unless you're Trey and you have a Lumia 1020, taking pictures of anything at night turns out laughable. Yes. It is just laughable. However, the current background for my phone is a picture. Let me see if I have a blank screen where I can show this. Is a picture that I took on Trey's Lumia 1020 at night and then edited on the Lumia 1020 at night because, while I was driving in a car. I don't know how well this is going to communicate through the
audio
magic of the video.
Actually,
but like
it's showing up all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I did like a color stroke and like made everything else black and white and then like blurred the background and like, so this is like Instagram on steroids with a 41 megapixel image that I then emailed myself.
Yeah, which is also, by the way, what my background image on my Lumia is also a photo that I took with my Lumia and then applied a filter to.
Right.
The background on my phone is my wife and a cat. His name is Amy Doodle and is a girl.
The point of this is not that... So filters are not intrinsically bad.
No. I use them in Photoshop all the time when I'm making logos.
Filters are actually quite fascinating as far as like what they allow you to add.
If you're looking at the video version, that logo in the corner has like 10 different filters applied to it throughout the course of its life.
So filters are not even a necessary evil, but like they make it more interesting.
Sure.
Instagram, I have two problems with Instagram. Instagram encourages you to take what is a perfectly good picture and make it look like shit.
Yes.
That is the point of Instagram, yes.
I did actually, so I Instagrammed, in true Instagram fashion, I Instagrammed my dinner tonight.
Why?
It was a direct message. Anyways.
I need to know what you're eating, Jimmy.
I don't.
Freebird's Burrito Bowl, thank you.
Jimmy, I like you.
Delicious.
Most of the time.
You're good people, Jimmy.
Except when I'm being an asshole.
Jimmy, I don't care. Like, honestly, unless you were eating, like, this super amazing meal.
Have you had the Burrito Bowl?
I've been to Freebird's.
That is right.
I stand in line and go, Freebird! And no one
actually, that's true.
I do. Actually, if you've ever been to Freebirds with me, all I can do is make Freebird jokes.
I will actually just mention Freebirds on the phone, and Trey will just yell, Freebird!
It's a reaction.
So is it like a Chipotle place?
It's a Texas.
It's a Texas-specific Chipotle place.
A Texas Mexics?
Well, like, Chipotle, if you want to break this down, Texas-wise, Chipotle is for Austin people. And Freebirds is for College Station people.
But it's funny because Freebirds has totally taken over Austin, and Chipotle is seen as like the evil big corporation.
Well, yeah, but it didn't like back when I was in college. The big thing was like Freebirds was in College Station in Texas A&M, and Chipotle is where Austin people and UT people went.
Yeah, I mean the Freebirds in Austin that was close enough to the university opened my freshman year.
Okay, yeah, and that was a deal.
It was a big deal, and like now it's just like there are Freebirds everywhere because they're amazing.
But anyways, you can get a burrito that's like that.
That's neither. Yeah, you can get the super.
Anyways, we are down a hole.
Which is like
let's get back. The only thing I remember about Austin was there was Stubbs and the Libertarian bookstore.
Yes,
those are both there.
Both there.
Creepy.
Keep going about Instagram.
But okay, so like my points about this is that so first off, that was a direct message because I don't actually think that everyone in the world wants to see what I'm eating.
Just your girlfriend.
quiet you. But anyways,
This is a tech podcast. You can't let anyone know that people have feminine companions.
You're the one who
can't
just
call
showed
me
a
out on
picture of
that.
your wife holding a cat named Amy.
Fuck you. Anyways,
This just means I win life.
Keep going,
Instagram
Jimmy.
that shit.
Just keep going. I'm
this is
trying
not
to
happening.
care. I'm trying to care.
But the point is that okay, so this one was a direct message, so I don't actually think the entire world cares about what I'm eating. Unlike Twitter, where people would just tweet random shit. Yeah. So, anyways, but I sent it with no filter. It was just a means of sending an
Did
image.
you use the hashtag no filter?
No, because I think that's stupid. Because like.
I love
There was one I saw while I had Instagram open to take this picture of someone taking a picture of a thunderstorm in Austin, and the picture was just crap, and it said thunderstorm, like, ooh, thunderstorm incoming, hashtag no filter. And I wanted to respond with, you should have used a filter.
Hashtag needed a filter.
Hashtag try again.
Hashtag you need a filter.
So like Instagram is interesting from the standpoint of it is extraordinarily easy to share images through Instagram, both direct message and to just post for people to look at. Most people have them.
Can I ask a potentially dumb question?
You're more than welcome to.
There are
always
no
dumb.
stupid questions, just stupid people.
Yeah, okay. So, how is it better at sharing images than Facebook? I mean, I get that they're the same company, but how is it better than Facebook at sharing images?
Because that's all that is on it. That's the reason.
But
no. But that is actually
I mean,
why.
that's the reason.
People specifically, people specifically use Instagram to share images,
I get
whereas
that.
people use Facebook to share fucking everything.
Everything.
Like, I'm level 43 on game you don't
I've
care
blocked
about.
all those, but like I get a lot of like
Play game you don't want to. You don't
the
care
Obama
about.
administration is lying to you. The Bush administration was evil. Like I get a lot of that's basically what
Those
Facebook
things
is.
too. Like, so Facebook is good, like as a general, and most people that use Instagram share those images to Facebook.
Sure.
And of the ones I've talked to that do it, they'll readily admit that they get more views on Facebook than they do on Instagram, like, or more likes and more conversation. But for some reason, Instagram has been able to, in a way that I cannot fully describe, embed itself in people's minds as this is how I share images.
Sure. I mean, it's an excellent exercise in branding, and I see why Facebook bought them.
But what I think that like Instagram's interface is very simple, and like what really got it for me and why I started sending direct Instagram messages was I was trying to MMS a freaking picture,
MMS is awful.
which is just broken. MMS
is
does not
like
work.
MMS has been broken. Like
It
there's
has
a
always
reason why
been
it didn't
broken.
launch
It
in the
has never
original
worked.
iPhone. It
Like-
doesn't work.
Like it took to like the 3GS
Yeah,
so they
something
supported
like that.
MMS.
Yeah,
and even then it like AT&T didn't support MMS even though Apple said they did.
Yeah, it was.
So
I mean,
it was a mess.
I use
was a
it now.
total
Like
mess.
I do it a lot now that it's through iMessage.
Right,
And
but like
I text
when
Sydney
I
pictures all the time.
usually the problem is when you have an Android phone and an iPhone trying to communicate with each other,
They don't.
the MMS breaks.
Yeah.
It doesn't work right, and so like I know when I'm on an iPhone conversation because like it comes in as an MMS for a normal piece of text, and then I get all of these random texts that make no sense out of context because it's not in the iMessage like thing. Anyways, that's a separate gripe. But so Instagram makes it extraordinarily easy to just share images. And the thing for me that I like about Instagram is that I can direct message an image, whereas I cannot do that through Facebook.
But that's a new. Yes, you can.
I don't
You
think
can.
so.
Yes, you can
I don't think
DM
so.
any sort of file now in Facebook chat.
Challenge accepted. I have my phone in front of me.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if you can do it on the phone interface. I know.
Well,
you can
but
do it on the
that's
web
what actually
interface.
matters because this is the thing I'm taking stupid pictures with.
Sure. I mean, and maybe you need the Facebook Messenger. Look, I don't know. I only do that on the web, on the web.
Here, Trey. I will send you a random picture of an Instagram.
No, that's something else.
Okay.
Looking at a
select
lot of cat pictures on my Instagram.
next.
This is really great radio listening as we all look at our phones.
Well, see, this is telling me to post it. I don't want to post it. I want to message it.
Okay, so I've loaded your chat head, and I have an
Okay.
attach button, and I can add a photo. So if you can
Go
look
back.
at my.
But I have to
iPhone.
open Facebook Messenger, don't I?
Nope, this is just in the Facebook app on my iPhone. I have a.
Fuck you, Facebook.
But I have an add photo or record voice or an emoji option, so you can do all of that in Facebook in their app. Which presumably you have to do that in an Instagram app too.
Here, I will go to the Trey Comstock message. Connected. Oh,
There should be a little attach button down the corner, bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, choose photo.
Yes.
Selected. Oh,
Boom goes the dynamite.
Selected.
I get that this sounds like it's more complicated than it is on Instagram, but you can do it on Facebook. Now that may be new.
That work? I may or may not have just messaged you an Instagram picture
Great. Wonderful.
of my delicious dinner.
So we have decided that Instagram
is pointless.
is useless.
It's pointless.
It makes good pictures bad and bad pictures worse. And it also
But I think that
kicks your
the
cat.
interesting conversation about Instagram though is the one that Trey and I had earlier this week, which was this shit has been around forever, and
Yeah.
even though people do really stupid shit with it, like, oh look, I took this picture with no filter and it looks like crap. Well, maybe you should have filtered it because it looks like crap.
But like I've been
Or don't share it on the internet.
people act like, oh, like I can find, like I love these filter things. Like they really help me express my creativity. But like, okay, guys, I've been playing with filters since the late '90s. When I got my first edition of Photoshop.
Well, Photoshop costs money. Instagram
Not
is
when I
free.
got it.
You know, you can actually get money for reporting pirated software. So, Trey, I would earn
My first
Photoshop 1.
Yes, my first
Applications
version of
up on that.
Photoshop 3.0 or
Adobe
whatever it
Photoshop. Your phone
was
and
totally
RoboCop.
pirated by my uncle.
Oh, it was your uncle. Okay,
my
good. So
uncle.
now you don't get in trouble.
The
Way
thing
to
that really gets me
way to
though
throw
is
him under the bus.
you have this like you have Instagram, right, that is very popular because this camera is still not perfect. Like this is still
No.
a crappy point and shoot
He's
camera with
holding
no
up
zoom.
a phone for those.
I'm holding up my
who
Nexus 7 or Nexus 5. Sorry, Nexus 5, not Nexus 7.
It's a tablet.
And it's still crap.
Yeah.
Compared to a real camera. But the one that really gets me is when a
just
a
got me.
Nikon or Canon DSLR is using the fact that it'll have filters on it. I had a colleague of mine show me the Fujifilm X-T1, which by the way is a $2,000 mirrorless camera that is
Jeez.
weather
Holy
sealed,
poop.
16
on a
megapixel.
stick.
It is almost
That thing's for real.
it is almost as good as a DS like my 7D, which came out 3 years ago. But it is almost as good as my
also
7D
more
in a lot of
expensive.
ways. It's also more expensive than the 7D is currently. But he was showing me of all of the things that were on it that he really enjoyed, the fact that it could connect via Wi-Fi, and so he could transmit like compressed images to his phone, and the fact that he could do stupid filters on it. This is a $2,000 mirrorless prosumer grade device.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't care. I don't.
Like
I don't
anyone
care.
who's buying that camera should be able to know how to do that in Photoshop or in.
I literally click 2 buttons in
Lightroom.
Lightroom and it's done.
Yeah,
Like,
you do that in Lightroom.
you know what? It doesn't look like shit. Unlike Instagram, where it looks like shit.
Well, because it actually has the processing power to render it out, and you don't lose the depth of field. Like,
It makes it
Instagram
look
renders
better.
photos.
All you need is sepia. That's all you need, people. Every photo in sepia.
So speaking of things on our phones, the thing that's new with me is I've been playing the game Threes. Like,
I've been playing 2048.
so you need to stop playing 2048, and here's why.
Because I love 2048.
No, I
I've
don't.
been playing Jeopardy.
So there's Patrick Klepek has this great article up on GiantBomb.com that kind of explains the
Friend
process.
of the show.
I wish, yeah. That basically 2048 is not just a ripoff of Threes, which happens a lot. It's actually really hurting the guy who made Threes. So the guy who made Threes is supported by the Cards Against Humanity folks, and
is that right?
he spent 2 years developing this game. Like, it's a super simple game where you slide together and add numbers together. Like, it appears really simple, but a lot of like really simple games take a long time to develop because it takes a lot to develop an idea to that core and that simple.
But also to make it like so very. My understanding with Threes is it's very visually.
It's visually appealing.
Like,
the sound's
amazing.
great. Each of the tiles has like a character. Like, it's really cool. It's like a great game. Like,
Can I get it on Android?
And it costs $2. I don't know if it's on. I don't think it's on Android.
Who's the developer?
you're asking me questions I don't know off the top of my head. Just search the word threes.
Johnny
I did,
Threes.
but, you know.
So that's a bad search term. I get it. So this Italian kid made an open source clone version called 1024. And he just posted it online for free as an open source thing. No money, changed hands. And the guy who made threes was kind of annoyed by that, but he was like, okay, whatever. And it runs in the web, and it's okay. Like, it's a clone. Like, clones exist. The guy who made 2048, what he did is he took the source code, the open source code from 1024, slapped an ad engine on it, and posted it to iTunes, posted to the App Store and Google Play Store. And he's making money off of something he spent no time developing. All he did was add an ad engine, and it's now the #1 free game on the App Store.
So I feel like it's important for me to note that I'm playing 2048. I'm playing the web app.
So you're paying.
I'm playing the open source HTML5
without ads or with
that has
ads?
no ads.
Okay,
it's not ad supported.
So
it's not anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So not the one that, and it literally says on it like, no, this is the original one. Like, and don't fall for these other people that are trying to like sell you ads against it or anything like that. Like, I did this because, you know, I thought it was interesting, not because I want money.
It's still a clone, and it's still hurting the guy who made threes. But
I'm about to buy threes.
But the one that's really insidious is the 2048, which is the #1 free app on the App Store, which is also just taking source code he did not develop and slapping ads against it and making money. So that's why I say, like, if you're on a store that has threes, pay $2. Like, it's a remarkable game.
I just did. I just bought it.
So, I mean, support the
because that's the kind of thing that like I am more than happy to support, you know, artists,
good content, and like $2
and content in general. Like,
I've gotten my productivity is sunk through the floor playing threes.
Also, yeah, now I'm gonna have 2048 and threes installed on my
best
phone,
score is like 10,800. Like, I feel pretty good about that.
Oh, bring it, Trey! I'm taking you down.
My top score, like, I was pretty proud. I know there are people with way higher scores than me, and I was pretty proud of my 10,800.
If you have a higher score than Trey, please feel free to
don't write in
to write in to show post on our Facebook.
No,
tweet
please
at
do,
us,
and we will
will continuously try to best you. Because we're competitive people.
Yeah, we could do that. We could just keep trying to up your score. My productivity is already through the floor. I need more things to distract myself. So, like, I love threes because it's a time waster in the best way possible. That you really enjoy it, and then you just keep, just one more game. Oh, just one more game. It's, you know, it is ADHD crack. It's great. But I do offer
just
that.
Ready for that next hit.
Yeah, you're just waiting for that next hit. That's another show title. Threes. It's ADHD crack. Threes is ADHD.
So I'm on the App Store. I can't find 2048. I found threes from Servo LLC, friend of the show.
If you search 2048 on the Google Play Store,
and then there's also Cat Threes, which is threes with a cat.
I mean, there's tons of what are clearly
that is
clones,
free.
But like, if you
well, like, okay, so like whenever here, so mine is literally, it is a web app. I'm trying to figure out
2048 or 1024.
No, 2048. It's on GitHub.
So if you go to the App Store and you go to Top Charts and you click free, there you go. 2048, the app supported version, is the #1 free app.
Who's the maker?
Catch App.
Of Catch App.
Okay, yeah. See, that's not who made this version I'm using. So it says here at the bottom of this site, created by Gabrielle Cerulli, based on 1024 by Vivo Studio, and conceptually similar to Threes by Asher Vollmer, and has links out to those other two games.
Right. Which is, you know, like I said, he's kind of annoyed by it, but he's not like distraught. But if you go to the top charts, Threes is the #14 app. It doesn't even appear in the top 10. Whereas this total ripoff, just making money off of somebody else's code and someone else's game concept, is the #1 free app. And it was even covered by either AP or Reuters, who didn't fact check to find out who made the original game.
Is that right?
Yeah, read Patrick Klepek's article. I'm messing up the details, but yes.
Yeah, just post it in the show notes on this show.
I will. So with that, we should probably get out of here.
Because I'm totally not going to get anything done for the next 10
we're just going to all play threes.
Yeah.
If you have any feedback for the show, or if you want to tell us your
tell us
threes
your high score
on
and
threes,
threes.
podcast at textlesscall.com, facebook.com/textlesscall,
Auspicious,
or at textlesscall on the Twitters. Good night.
Go in peace.
No, that's the other show.
That's the other show. Do.